Hello.
Hello.
Welcome again. Today we're going to talk about
Alone time.
and the importance of spending time on your own.
Yeah. Why would you need alone time? And a little challenge at the end as well, just to get you thinking a bit more about, all the things that you can use alone time for and how you're going to feel refreshed at the end of it as well.
Yeah. And why we're doing about alone time is because, again, believe it or not, that's something we've been dealing with this week.
Yeah.
Because obviously our last couple of weeks have been very busy, and then last week we were like, okay, now life is beginning, but we also spend so much time together because
While we live together, our jobs haven't really got going yet as such, because we're still working on some other avenues to get work happening, and that means we're spending a lot of time in our own home space, working, also relaxing, but around each other a lot. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes as well it just gets a bit claustrophobic. And if you're overthinkers like we are, then you're constantly thinking of everything
and the other person, and how is the other person
and trying to
feeling,
take care of them.
And
if
then
they're feeling off slightly or
so it was a really good thing to spend some time on our own. So Andrew also really wanted to focus on writing, so he decided to go away for 2 days, and
and it was hard for me to do initially, because it's hard for me to say to someone that I really care about, I need some distance from you, because often that can be misconstrued as I don't like you. And in my head, sometimes those two things are the same, because maybe that's the way I see it from other people. When they say, just give me some room, I immediately, I'm too sensitive, and I take it too literally, like, oh, they don't want me. But that's not what I just needed time for my own self.
And it's also, I understand that because I used to live on my own, and I know how much I value that time on my own, and I haven't had that for a while. So when Andrew said that, and in a really caring way, and exactly,
you're so caring.
but exactly, like he said, like really timid, and I was like, well, of course, and it's good that we communicate that to each other.
And we have to ask for what we want in life.
Definitely. So, and at first I was like, okay, because I don't really have a lot of friends just yet around this place. And luckily my mum was staying with me for one of the days. But then on the day that I was on my own, and I brought my mum to the airport, and I have spent loads of time on my own, but because I haven't done it recently, I was like, okay, what do I do now? And you start about, you've got room to think a lot, and I was like, I see an episode of something, and then I was like, okay, now what? And I took myself outside and just started writing, because I hadn't been doing that for a while. And it's just such a difference when you write something, and for me, this is just for me, it really, really helps. And you have been focusing on writing, on your script writing,
and maybe you have a different thing that you can do to help put you in the moment, put you aligned with yourself. It could be going for a hike, could be playing the favorite sport that you like to play with some friends. And I know it's not necessarily time for you, but it's doing the things that you really want to do, I think, and just maybe finding some ways to express creativity. Cooking by yourself, trying to find something that's creative too, can be really useful. And keeping it varied, not just getting stuck behind a screen. I mean, as much as that is good to do some work or writing, or maybe watch a show, break it up by getting outside a bit, writing physically.
And we were also, because when my mum was here, we were talking about it, and my mum is a psychologist, and she said, well, people who go into retirement, for them it's very difficult as well, because they spend so much time on their with themselves and together, and then they need to find a way. So it's about finding a balance. And I think as well, if your friend or your family or someone says, I need some space, then try not to go straight away in your ego of like, oh, this is about me, but then encourage them to say, okay, well, yeah, no, I understand you. And because most of the time it has nothing to do with you, it's just the other person needs some space to think or...
Yeah, and they'll come back calmer, stronger, more awake, happier.
Yeah.
Really. And so what's the challenge then, Jamie?
So the challenge is spend some time alone this week.
Yeah.
And
take a day if you can. I mean, I know that seemed like a lot, but maybe just devote a day to...
Or even like a couple of hours, at least 4 hours. And just do
good block of time.
Yeah, some time to, I don't know, to do something that you might have wanted to do or used to do a lot, but you haven't had the time to do. Yeah, and take that time for that.
Yeah. And
Well,
you'll feel better. You'll
it
feel
definitely,
fresher.
oh.
Yeah. If
it really
life
does.
is really busy and it's, getting on top of you, it's one of the best ways to reset yourself.
Yeah, I know I felt completely after my writing, and I write in 2 different ways. So I write down, okay, this is going on, and then for some reason I go into a third person. So I'm
like a witch.
I'm writing, well, Jamie, this and this is happening, but it would be really good for you to do this and this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's such great advice. So, but I don't know, but maybe you can try it. It's great fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, and have a lovely week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.